Hello and welcome. Hope you're all doing well. In this exciting episode, I will be making this dress. It has 8 panels in the skirt and there are 3 different prints in this dress. It's very busy.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So this month is UFO month, me finishing off unfinished projects, and I have been doing a lot of that, an awful lot of that. So I thought I would take a break because the last one I made was the orange one, and I still have loads to do. I'm feeling guilty about it, don't worry. And I was going to make the rainbow one because it's, mixed multicolour fabric month or rainbow month. And but I'm still not entirely sure what I want to do with them. And last UFO episode was me making this orange dress, and it has 6 panels in the skirt, which is rather fabulous. But as I'd finished it, I was like, 6. I'm sure I could go even more and do 8 because this skirt originally only had 2 panels, so I'm already being very extra. But I thought, how fabulous would it be if it had 8 panels? And I've only got all up, I think there's 5.5 yards there, so I couldn't have done it with them. But I had these 3 fabrics, and I was going to make a layer cake dress out of these. But I thought, well, what if I make a dress with an 8-panel skirt out of these? Because I've got 2 yards of the left, 2 yards to the right, and 3 yards of that middle tile-ish one. So I thought, maybe I'll do that. And then use the information I gather making that dress to decide what I'm going to do with the rainbow ones, because I still can't decide. So as I said, 2 yards of this blue one with the South African flowers, 3 yards of the tile one, and 2 yards of the orange one with the little animals and the flowers on it. So I think I want the blue as the front and center and the bodice, and I'll just use up all the rest as the skirts and the back of the bodice, I think, because the middle one has the most. I'll make the back of the bodice out of that as well. So that is the plan. And then I don't know. I mean, I'm a little bit indecisive because I guess I could just make up this one, but I really love that raindrop rainbow fabric, and I don't want to wreck it, so I think I'll just make up this aqua and orange one and use the information I get making that dress to help me decide what I'm going to do with these ones. Because I also really love the mustard dress that I made. All 3 are mustard, but the middle one was the 1939 pattern, except I made it with 3-panel skirt instead of a 2-panel as it's meant to be made. So here we have the grey one is the 1939 skirt, and the ladybug one is the 1950 Butterick one. So I'm just trying to figure out which skirt I'll use for. So I am going to make the aqua and orange one. Just, because I still can't decide what to do with the rainbow one. Okay, so the 1939 skirt, not surprisingly, uses less fabric, so it's shorter. So I think I'm going to go the ladybug one, the longer one from the 1950s Butterick pattern. But obviously I'm going to do 8 panels instead of just front and back 2 panels. So, but I'm just going to use this as my template just so that I get the right shape. Okay, so we've cut 4 panels out of the tile one, 2 out of the blue, and 2 out of the orange. That took a while. The last 2 panels of the tile one, I had to cut out half and half, so I'm going to have an extra seam there. Oh my God, so many French seams, so many French seams. Okay, now we're cutting out the bodice, and this is just some other random fabric I had that I'm going to use for the lining. And this one here is the leftover bits. I sewed them together, and that's how I'm going to make the sleeve. So I've got 2 of those, and I just wanted to do that triple sort of sleeve that I did in one of my layer cake dresses, because I thought that would make it look, tie the whole dress together. And oh, these are looking adorable. They do take a lot of effort. Anything like layer cake-ish takes a lot of time, but they're so worth it. They're adorable. And so now I'm doing the bodice. I just sewed the two halves together and then sewed the shoulders and the sides. And then once that was done, I pinned the outer and the lining together and sewed them together at the neckline. And then I clip the curves so that they'll sit straight when I turn it out. Then I turned them out the correct way. These were literally the only two bits of the blue fabric that I had left. So there's nothing I can do about that row of flowers along the chest line, unfortunately. Because I couldn't, normally what you do is just turn one upside down so they're not quite so symmetrical. But yeah, I couldn't do that because it's directional fabric. So that is a little annoying. You might have noticed on the thumbnail, I put a big brooch there to kind of obscure the fact that they are so, glitchy. But and then I put the sleeves on, pinned them, then sewed them on. That took forever, but they look adorable. I love the sleeves. They really save it. I tried a new sleeve from a McCall's pattern in the last video I did, the orange one, and yeah, I was just so disappointed with them. So I'm really happy with these ones, the triple sort of layer cake sleeves. They are adorable. And they're so puffy. They're exactly what this dress needed to balance out that massive skirt. So yeah, there we go. So the bodice is done. Obviously, I still need to do all the hand sewing, hence all the pearl tip pins sticking out. So now it is time for this skirt. Oh my goodness. So many French seams, so many French seams. And as I said, there were 8 panels. So you sew you just do all of them, and also 2 of the tile panels with the little triangles of both colours needed double seams, like to the left and the right side weren't cut on the fold, so there was extra seams there. But totally worth it. This looks so much better as an 8-panel skirt than just a 6-panel skirt with loads of leftover scraps. So I am glad I took the time to do it. Once all the panels were sewn together, I had to pin it to the bodice and pleat it down a little bit. That did take an age, but again, totally worth it. Because there were 4 of the tile panels, those were the ones that always went to the back whenever there was a choice of which panel do I foreground and which one do I sort of pleat up. Yeah, so those ones got pleated up much more than the other 2 fabrics did. So yeah, here she is. As you can probably tell, it was nighttime when I finished this, so I couldn't film it. So I just lay it out on the bench like Sleeping Beauty. And yeah, I'll film it in the morning. It's so pretty. I love the sleeves. They make it for me. Okay, Sleeping Beauty is now sleeping upright on the rack. But before I show you that, so this is the last one I did, and it's 6-panel skirt. And I just wanted to show you how ridiculously big this is already. And yeah, so we can sort of compare the two. I think the camera gets confused by the very bright orange. So that is a bit tricky to film. But just generally, these are what the 2 dresses look like. I've got the 1950s petticoat under the orange one at the moment. So then I took the tie off and I took the skirt, the petticoat out. And this is what they both look like. So I think the pattern sort of obscures just how full that skirt is. They sort of look the same. The print one is heavier because it does have 2 more panels in it. And now I put ties back on both of them, and you can sort of see, I think they're both really pretty. This is just a really beautiful, if you like that Disney style dress, of a panel skirt that you can twirl in, then this is a really, really pretty dress. And yeah, I think I like both of them, but they're not terribly me-ish. I mean, I will wear them. I absolutely love them, and I do think for these 3 bits of fabric, this is the best version that I really like this dress. I was going to make a sort of layer cake dress out of it, but I don't know. I do inherently like layer cake dresses better, but they take so much time and energy and effort. It is ridiculous. So, yeah, I really like this dress. It's very Disney princess, though, which isn't very me. But I mean, occasionally you like to wear something just ridiculously pretty. And I love the sleeves. I love them so much. I was concerned about the bodice, but when you see the dress as a whole, because the bodice looks a lot like the blue panels of the skirt, so I'm not so worried about it now. This is the back, obviously, and yeah, I really like that I put the blue panels in the center front and the center back. It really anchors it. I think it would have been just too busy and chaotic otherwise. But yeah, and I'm not sure. And so now I'm just trying to think about what to do with this one. And I think the rainbow one, I'll do the 1939 dress. I don't think I'll make it like this one. I do love this dress. I love the way it turned out, but I think with the rainbow one, I just want to, I keep coming back to that mustard one with the pink moths in the middle there. I just love that dress so much. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do that with the rainbow, or maybe a sort of layer cake ruby dress. I'm not sure. Oh, and that's the pattern that the McCall's pattern that I used, the sleeve for the orange dress. I much prefer these sleeves. They are just so adorable. So cute. They're my absolute favorite thing about this dress. If like the reason I will get this dress out is because of those absolutely adorable sleeves. They are beautiful. But of course, they made me think of the layer cake dress that has the triple sleeves. So I thought I'd get them out and compare them. I like the layer cake dress better. I just do. But mostly because of the colours, I guess, but also just the style of it. It's more of a Victorian walking skirt type style dress, whereas this one here, the orange and aqua one, is more of a Disney princess style dress. And if you like to twirl, then go the Disney princess, a panel skirt is definitely the way to go. But if you like that sort of kick out as you walk and with a really long dress or skirt that doesn't I just think it's less flattering, but it's also more, I don't know, not stylish because it's so ridiculously chaotic, but I don't know. I feel much more comfortable in a layer cake dress than I would in a Disney style dress. So, but layer cake dresses just take so much work to make. If I had my time over and I had 3 bits of fabric, as I did the orange and aqua ones, blue aqua, then would I make a Disney dress or a layer cake dress? I think that's a bit unfair because with the layer cake dress, you kind of need half a dozen or a dozen fabrics. There is just so much in there and it's smaller amounts, but you need a big variety of scraps or small chunks to choose from. I think these two are a better comparison because I had, with most of these, I had 2 yards. So I had 4 different fabrics and they had 2 yards each. Whereas with the Sleeping Beauty dress, I had 3 fabrics. One had 3 yards and the other had 2 yards and 2 yards. So they're basically the same, these two. And yeah, I think hands down, I prefer the floral. Oh, they're both floral. I prefer the one on the right, the ruby dress or the sort of layer cake dress. You can definitely see where I was headed in the direction of making layer cake dresses, but it wasn't officially a layer cake dress yet. So I think, yeah, that's my personal preference, but I also absolutely adore this Sleeping Beauty dress. I think it is gorgeous. And but I tend to wear dresses without petticoats, and I do think this one looks beautiful without a petticoat and it twirls gorgeously. But I think if you're a type of person who likes wearing petticoats as a general rule and taking up space, I mean, more power to you. But I'm just a klutz. So, yeah. And I think, yeah, I just, oh, and this is me putting the flowers on the bodice to sort of obscure the glitchiness of the top. If it does, I'm going to leave it. I don't think it, once you see the dress as a whole, it doesn't, I don't think the bodice looks too glitchy. I just think when you see it just the bodice, it does look a bit glitchy. So I do have some scraps, so maybe I can put banners of the other two fabrics across, sort of vertical pleating across the bust line, maybe, or just above the bust, maybe. I don't know. I don't mind it the way it is. So I think I'll just sort of leave it and wear it a few times, see what I think after that. But yeah, I'm really happy with this dress. I love it. It's a really good use of these fabrics because they're so awkward. Sometimes I buy things and I'm like, oh, that'll be a challenge to make up. And then like I look at my fabric stash and I'm like, girl, why? Why did you do this to yourself? But it was an interesting, I never would have made a dress like this if I didn't have three such awkward fabrics to try and mush together. So yeah, it's an excellent adventure. Well done for buying crazy fabrics. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. If you can't decide between the two, then you can always do the Oscar de la Renta one. It's kind of like a layer cake dress, but instead of horizontal, it's vertical. It does require you to have to be able to redraft a pattern because every time you make a style line vertically, you have to add seam allowance on either side. So that is a little bit tricky. But if you can, it's kind of pretty easy to figure out and the results are absolutely gorgeous. I think from memory, this one has 8 different fabrics in it, and there's like 16 panels, 8 on the front, 8 on the back, I think, maybe. And yeah, so definitely try it. But yeah, those French seams, I feel like that would add bulk vertically, so that's why I haven't done it. And yeah, anyway, I'm really happy with this dress that I just finished making. And yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you've been inspired to use up your random pieces of fabric in your fabric stash to make a pretty dress. I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to do with my rainbow fabric. I do really, really love that mustard one, and it's just a little bit shorter, and I don't know, there's something about it, it's so vintage. But I also really love the layer cake dresses and the long ruby dress with the florals. But oh, I love the layer cake dress. But I mean, I've only got 2 rainbow fabrics, so it's not really. I guess I could use loads of different colors and then put a few layers of the rainbow one in there. I don't know. Kind of feels like a waste of rainbow fabric. Maybe this, but with the 2 rainbow, alternating between the 2 rainbow drops. Maybe. I've only got 5.5 yards, so it is maybe doable. It just wouldn't be as full on the bottom tiers. Anyway, I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with my rainbow fabric. I have a definite idea of what I wanted to do with the ladybug fabric though. As it is, it's a half-made, half-done thing. So it's 2-panel skirt. And what I want to do is pull it apart and add more black panels and put the red with dots on the side so that it looks like a ladybug with wings. Anyway, that's for another episode. So thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you were inspired.